the state building. Security comes out, half a block distance to walk to this man and tell him he can't film the front of the building. Why is that? What's the science behind it? That sounds like a black on black racism to me.
Right, so you're saying that a lot of times it's affecting you in a negative way.
No, because it's just a mental thing, and it's just part of security law or post 9/11 type.
Yeah, true,
law.
true.
See, we didn't have that type of thing before 9/11.
Right.
So they think if you filming in front of a building, especially a state building, that's the common denominator. That's a state law.
State building. Correct.
You might be planning to do some measurements on how you can blow this thing up or whatever.
Correct. Correct.
Infiltrate it in a negative way.
Right.
So they don't want you taking pictures when you used to take pictures of whatever you want out.
But you just told me just 5 minutes prior to me coming here that people of another color, and we're not going to make it a race issue, but you saying they were doing the same thing. Were they stopped?
No. But then again, he's going to say I didn't see them, which you probably didn't. Because you was more on a direct line of the glass.
Okay.
It was right here.
Okay.
By the edge.
Okay.
But it's no means to an end, and that's just a sample of what's coming as far as New World Order, which is in effect.
Man.
But we only went a step and a half into it. It gets a lot deeper. I mean, you look at the cigarette thing. You're gonna sell cigarettes in the store right here, and then I can't light it up over here. I gotta light it up in my house.
Right.
This is cigarette, not marijuana. What next? That's kind of like in Russia, where they had what's that word? When they tell everybody what to do.
Right. Actually, dictatorship.
Dictatorship. But there's another word. Communism.
Communist. Correct.
Everybody worked the same type of work, same type of pay,
Right.
same type of rent, same type of household. You really couldn't elevate to a millionaire or a semi-millionaire. Everything was kept controlled.
Right.
We don't want that here. That's
So
gonna
you
raise
think
hell.
you think that's what's happening here now? You think that's what it's starting to be like? Do you see us following that same trend? Honestly.
Yeah. Not 100%, because you can't do that overnight. It's got to be step by step, else it's gonna freak everybody out.
Right.
So it's a little bit by little bit. You got a bicycle law. Don't ride the bike on the sidewalk. I see a lot of white people ride their bike on the sidewalk, right by the police, nothing.
So it sounds like we live in a place of double standards. See, I wanted to get the view from my people, because you got to understand that a lot of times, we look at things, we see all the documentaries, and we see all these different things. We don't really talk to real people. When they do polls, I always see these polls, CNN polls, ABC polls, but I never remember somebody walking up to me, polling me. Have they ever polled you?
You.
Okay, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. And thank you, good brother. I just want to tell you this is the reason that I write, because we need a voice. And without the voice, then we'll be always suffering in silence. No longer should we suffer in silence, people, y'all. This one more chapter on ongoing silence. Now, that's what we talking about, like Brother D said. So as I interpret it through my poetic style, follow me. My poetry is sweet flowetry. Without the music, I still got melodies. Plus, I sound off like an A-bomb. In an insane world, I remain calm. Plus, I got insight like X-rays, spitting these verbal rounds like AKs with extra clips and unlimited bullets. So once you give me a stage, then I'm quick to pull it. But I'm using this microphone, spitting these holy scriptures. And if you roll the trains, I'm like a grab artist. You've seen those pictures. Because in hostile times, I gave you vivid colors without naming lights, because I am my brother and I am a father, and I raise my sons to empower their minds and to overcome and to use their tools, but to drop their egos and always humble yourself, because next to God there is no equal. The spoken word is power, but a thinking man is needed. Without spirituality means everything, so you have to nurture it and feed it with information that is based on truth. Then pass this on to our nation of youth, because the system is designed to see us fail, but Christ shed his blood for us to prevail. And with that being said, we own this earth. We the original man, and this is not a verse, and this is not a curse. So I fear no evil. Plus they got me tipping the scales, because I carry the weight of all my my people, but now I'm building my army because I can see it very clearly. They say the last shall be first, but this time it's here. See, the voice of a generation has been sparked by the fire that burns in us all, so I never will retire, and I never will expire until I do my best to even the playing field, because I love my peoples to death. So until I take my last breath, I'll keep bringing it and bringing it and bringing it to an equal on every set.
I listen to a lot of different talk radios.
Okay.
On AM.
And I'm a host. I'm a talk radio host too. Just let you know that.
And on FM, but most of them are on AM.
Okay.
And I don't want to say no names.
Okay. No publicity. No free publicity.
But you pick up information from north, south, east, west.
Right.
Which also represents different mindsets.
Okay.
One time or one night there was a topic about the police and the law and how we're gonna make it stronger and better and this, that, and the other. They had a call in. People could call in and give their opinion. This one person called in and they said, matter of fact, Russell Simmons was also one of the people on the board of this, giving answers. And I believe it was him who said this. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was Fat Farm himself, Russell Simmons.
Okay.
He said, we don't need police, because everybody knows right from wrong. You know it when you see it and you feel it. We don't need guns. He kept saying we don't need guns. When you have these white people on the other side of the table talking about how can we get a quicker gun license. They want all the people that's doing real good to have a permit for a gun.
Okay.
That's supposed to deter the thugs, the criminals, the muggers, what have you. But at the same time, that's going to cause chaos.
Right.
So the cat, like I said, he kept saying, we don't need guns.
We don't need guns, okay.
So if you de-gun everyone, no one has a gun.
Nobody got guns.
It's kind of like that program, Money for Guns or Toys for Guns or whatever. It was given $100 for bringing a gun. No questions asked, no fingerprints, no shit.
Right, I know the program. I'm familiar.
If we could really do that and stop the gun factories from printing guns, and all the guns that's already was printed be put in some type of machine that just crushes them up.
Right. Brother Cheryl, but would you believe the most powerful weapon we have in our community is our minds? And the most destructive weapon we have in our community is our minds. You know, look around your community. Now, how many brothers, let's be honest, let's talk honest, we only having this honest dialogue. How many brothers are reaching out to the ladies, the children in the community, trying to empower them with the information to help to change their lives and destroy their lives? How many times are we having as young men having forums, sitting around talking about things and not just talking about it, and after we finish talking about it, we get to work? If love is the thing that's going to heal us, what happened to the love? What happened to the love?
Money replaced the love. See, money replaced it. All of the things that used to keep things level.
Wow.
Although they say money will level everything and raise that levelness up. At the same time, it's causing the anarchy. It's like a two-way street.
Yeah, you know, we in search of the almighty, not God, but dollar. We in search of the sweet life, but mostly find it sour. See, I find that to be true. See, the poetry is only an expression of what I feel and what I think. And I know that, Brother Durrell, we look around, we see, we always want to be the victim in everything. Now, surely we're victimized. Surely we get brutalized by the media. Surely we get brutalized by our stigmas. But at some point, don't we brutalize ourselves as a people, honest?
Most definitely. All the time.
So, I want to talk about something that's really about keeping my brother. It's about being my brother's keeper. I want want to share with you something as you follow along as we finish the dialogue, okay? I need your assistance. Take this camera and put the camera on me, and let me tell you what it means to be my brother's keeper. Keeping your brother is so important. It was divine intervention that released my poetic explosion, because keeping it bottled up was causing me a life-threatening implosion. So I devoted my life to the art of keeping the picture perfect, and if I'm able to save one life, then it all will be worth it. I will teach them that the color of my skin only determines my complexion, but my mind is multifaceted and touches every color in the spectrum. And I'll keep preaching this to the death of them, to the last person ever doubt, second guess, or ever again question him. Because I am Malcolm, and I am Martin, and I am the American dream. I am kind, and I am loving, and I always see what I mean. See, and God chooses what he wants, so you need not ask me the reason. And no matter what time of year it is, I'm good in any season. And I'm here not to just make a splash, but I'll bring the heat until the water turns to steam. Till we all on one accord, basking in his light until we gleam. Like the finest trillion cut, or the sun that heats the planet. This is the precious gift that I was given, so this is the responsibility I've been handed. Am I my brother's keeper? Was the question asked in the 4th chapter of the book of Genesis. Well, if not me, then who is? And this is how I'll choose to finish this. Because it's all about helping each other. It's time to get out of rhetoric and let's get back to work. Let's start uplifting our communities again. Let's start loving each other, really loving each other. Stop asking them to do everything. Some things we can do ourselves. See, because guess what? No longer will I refuse to be a victim. No longer will I refuse to be victimized by my own people. Every longer do I see my child on the corners and say, listen, we can't do no better than hustling. See, we can hustle, but we got to hustle the same thing that got us here, the love. See, because we was already in prison for 400 years. We know that. Now, 400 years later, we imprisoning ourselves to a state of mind, to a mind state. We chasing designers and we chasing all of these things. We looking at rappers as our role models, but we taking away from our teachers, you know, our pastors, our mosque leaders. See, because it's not about who you praise from. If you're not doing the work, then you're probably in the way. If you're not doing the work, Daryl, then you're probably in the way. All right. And let me follow you. Go back to you, brother.
100%. Just like the brother was saying. If you're not doing anything to prevent it, it's not necessarily meaning that you're causing it. You're just kind of in limbo.
Wow.
Like when they say, what's happening, what's going on, you go, I'm chilling. Everybody, I'm chilling.
I'm chilling.
Well, we can chill long enough, man. It's time to start boiling now.
Yeah, man.
And I don't mean basketball. Boiling as in temperature.
Wow. You know what? I had a different idea how I was going to do this, man. But God is good, because he sent me with a brother, man, who really want to talk real about us. You know, because, you know, one time, I used to live in a fantasy myself. I used to always blame the white